Good morning. My name is Reese Gannon, and my BioBits topic discusses the more severe health effects down the line that nicotine can induce. In this video, I will touch on research gathered from the National Library of Medicine on how nicotine affects the prefrontal cortex of an adolescent, along with the symptoms of severe nicotine poisoning and the symptoms resulting after direct application of nicotine. Further, I will discuss how the toxic chemicals in nicotine slow muscle growth, along with a handful of interesting statistics from the American Heart Association, further confirming the damaging effects of nicotine. The National Library of Medicine has produced the following research. To start from the basics, the prefrontal cortex is an area of the brain that is mainly responsible for executive functions and attention performance. It has been proven that the prefrontal cortex is one of the last areas of the brain to fully develop and is not finished until the age of 26. One of the main problems that occur when an adolescent develops a nicotine addiction is an attention disorder. It is one of the first problems to develop and aggresses the longer somebody smokes. Since there is no way to necessarily isolate the variables in a study with humans, a study with rodents has provided the following results. Consuming nicotine as an adolescent causes molecular changes that lead to an alteration in the synapses of the prefrontal cortex. This change in itself will lead to the development of psychiatric disorders and impairment in cognitive functions. Some statistics regarding the consumption of nicotine from the American Heart Association are as follows. Around 90% of lung cancer cases in the United States are linked to the inhalation of nicotine. On average, consistent smokers die around 10 years earlier than non-smokers, and smoking nicotine and tobacco is the most preventative cause of death in America. The Women's Fitness magazine touches on the medically backed research of how nicotine consumption affects muscle growth. Vaping has been shown to increase a person's blood pressure. This leads someone to not be able to work out to their fullest potential regarding low energy for time under tension movements. The nicotine consumed also interferes with apoptosis. This is a process of cell death and regeneration which occurs during and after a workout in order for muscles to grow. Chemicals in nicotine slow down the biological process of apoptosis, impeding further muscle development. Lastly, the National Library of Medicine is again a strong and scholarly resource. A second article used for background research further explains some of the more severe and harmful effects of nicotine. The chemical nicotine is one of the most toxic to exist. It has a rapid onset of action, meaning its effects follow quickly after application or consumption. Severe nicotine poisoning can present symptoms such as tremors, prostration, cyanosis, convulsions, and progressions to a collapse or even inducing a coma. When nicotine is directly applied to a human, symptoms like a burning sensation in the mouth and throat, increased salivation, nausea and vomiting, abdominal pain, and diarrhea can occur. In conclusion, nicotine is a very dangerous chemical and should be avoided in all possible encounters. This is my works cited and all evidence to the articles used for the research in this presentation. Thank you for listening. I am Reese Gannon.